go get some. I'm gonna take a break. We've had a beautiful week this week with great weather. I have appreciated the weather. I
have too.
It feels good to be getting something done with the house, to be using the lumber.
Seeing the lumber disappear is
seeing
nice.
The walls going up, it's very encouraging.
But all we're doing is making room for more lumber, which that's a good thing too. That's a good thing too. Not complaining.
We were just talking about the design of the house, and around this side right here, and then this side right here, and then that far side right there is going to be a porch that goes out. It's going to be like 10 feet out. I'm going to build around that one tree on that side, outside the office. And the porch will come around here, and then there'll be a walkway, and then I'll have a private porch back here off the bedroom, and then there's another porch on this side. And the driveway is going to come up, go all the way around the property, and come out right on the other side of that, porch. And the chicken coop and stuff we're going to move, which we'll put on film. We're going to move all of that and reset that over further into the woods on the back side over there. Because the driveway is going to come up right there where the chicken pen is. But we have it goes all the way around with the trail, the loop goes all the way around. And what we're going to do is make this round loop that comes up like where the chicken pen is and around. It goes around that trail that cuts through our woods and back around and down like a big old circle on the property. So if you drive the whole driveway around, it's going to loop the whole property and come back down here. And then there'll be gardens and stuff around that little loop. And on the back side of the loop up there by them trees, it's going to be a pavilion. So it's going to be really pretty once we get done landscaping and doing everything.
It'll be Appalachian-like, that's for sure.
Yeah. What do you think, Gracie?
I hate you guys.
If you watched on the last video, we were bathing her in that stuff that he had got. What was the name of that stuff?
Happy Jack's mange medicine.
And it seems to be working. We gave her 2 treatments, and you'll see on the last video where we were treating her. You seen that on the last video?
Well, we'll have a breakaway in here and give an update.
All right.
Now I gave you some.
Because it usually ends up getting in the way.
Yeah, it does. Of course, it wouldn't come out.
Because when you have to butt up against something, those staples or that little 1/4 inch sliver, that makes a difference in the long run. So I would get the staple out. I'm with you. I wish they'd just put a stamp on it instead of a staple.
It'd be so much easier.
It is. So what are you doing now? Securing the corners, putting those boards in?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
So when we put the inside wall on, there's no place here to connect to go with this wall board. So not only does this give extra support to the corners, but it gives you a nailing point for your first piece of board or whatever you're putting on your inside wall.
Okay. Are these gaps like, I've helped my uncle do insulation and helped my family do it before. When you put insulation into these walls, do they make insulation that rolls out like that, or would you have to cut that in half?
These walls, the reason that we spaced these walls the way we did, now this one's not right. And these two are off because it's where the 2 malls meet, but all of these down here, they're the exact width of insulation.
Okay, so you just throw it in there and tack it in.
Tack it in, cut it at the bottom, go to the next one, and same thing.
Super.
And we're probably going to get a pneumatic staple gun.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody has any luck with some pneumatic staple gun, something that's really easy, lightweight, shoots a good like a T50 staple, comment below, let us know, because I definitely need a new staple gun, and most everything I bought off of people's recommendations.
Wow, that catboard looks good all the way around.
Well, that's
man, time goes by so fast, guys.
It does.
I can't believe my son's turned 24. You want me to put some more nails in it? You want these nails?
No, let me go get some nails. Those are 2-inch. We need 3 1/4.
These are longer, right?
No, the ones with the yellow are only 2 inches.
Okay.
Get that loaded. I'm gonna crawl up and find my hammer. It's up top already. This board in place.
Yeah, he saw me load this the other day, and I was like, he's like, oh, you can load it. Yeah. But it's just like I told him yesterday. Sometimes girls just play dumb. Because we just don't want to fool with them. Or to make the other person feel smarter. Here you go. Do you feel smarter?
Nope. Not now.
Yes, it's good to know how to build a house. It's good to know how to work on small engines. It's good to know how to do plumbing and some minor electrical work. It's good to know how to change your own tires and change your own oils. It's good to know how to do all of the maintenance on your vehicles and your tractors and stuff. Because a lot of times it's just going to be you. You're not going to have the money to fix it, or you're not going to have the time to go do something like that, or it's going to be a big inconvenience when you need it to work now.
Well, and then there always comes a possibility I might not be here. I could be out of town even. Doesn't have to mean anything negative.
But I know how to work on a generator enough to make it work if I needed power.
That you do.
And I'm going to tell you something, this for the people like the girls who don't really care about stuff like that, like mechanics. I don't either, guys. But it's not about whether or not that's an interesting subject to you. It's about survivability. And it's
Right.
like when I was learning to work on the generator and work on the small engines and tractor stuff, I don't care for it. I don't care for working on vehicles and engines and mechanics, but I can do it now. And he was out of town before we had a storm come through and I lost power and I had to go out and turn my own generator on and keep it running for about 3 or 4 days before he got home.
Right, but we did things backwards now. We were up here and we didn't have power first. We came up with no power, no water. We had to do that, and then once we were self-sufficient in that line, then we hooked up to the city utility so that we're on grid. Our purpose is to not be on grid. Our purpose is to be prepared for when the grid goes down.
Yeah, but we lived up here with no running water. We were bringing our water in. Then we dug our own water lines, which was 600 feet up here. We've done everything on our own, guys. Everything. We had to cut our own road in 600 feet in because this was raw land. What you see around you was all woods and bushes. We couldn't see each other through the bushes. So we had to do all of this on our own and cutting this in on our own. And this is before a tractor, before equipment. We didn't have anything but chainsaws and axes and stuff like that. And we actually lived up here in a tent shelter, which I'll put a picture up of our tent shelter. Then we went to a next stage where we were building around that while we were clearing the land and making a driveway, because for almost a year we didn't even have a driveway. We were hiking that, bringing our supplies in, bringing all this in. Guys, we brought a wood stove in that way. It's a struggle. So to get this far feels like an accomplishment. To know that we're building finally, got water and power in finally, that we're getting garden spaces in and animals and things like that. Like things are finally coming together. And it's been kind of it's like, you've seen that on Transformers, they say there's no sacrifice, no victory. You have to sacrifice. I had to sacrifice a lot, we both did, in the last 3 or 4 years just to get to this point. So, but the reason it's taking us so long is because we're paying as we go. We don't finance anything. And when this is done and it's built, the property and the house and everything will be ours, and we won't owe a dime on it.
Right.
And that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal.
Well, credit card debt right now is at 1.2 trillion, I believe is what it was the other day when I looked. And the sad thing is when these instances occur, especially if you go back and you do any history looking up of like 19 20s. So start looking around 1925, right before the stock market, and watch how everything moved, housing even. And during that time, a lot of people lost their homes and everything. And we want to just be in the position, and we hope that you're in the position too, that if the economy collapses today, the only thing you have to come up with is the property taxes they force us to pay on land that we already own every year. You know, that's...
the point is we own the property, so we don't have to pay for that. And we're buying cause we're doing this as we go, so we're not financing the home. There's no credit card debt, 0 credit card debt. And the only financing, the only payment that we make is on the truck.
Yeah. And that makes me sick every night.
You know, guys, I'm telling you, I had people come up here and look at this and see what we're doing, how we're building and everything. And this one man, I'm not going to tell you who he was, but he had a well-paying job, and he was up here, and he works for the county. And he said he makes about $85,000 a year. And he has a mortgage. He has a mortgage on a $400,000 home and credit card debt. And he's going to be working until he's like 75 or 80. And how jealous he was. See, this is the thing, guys. And he even said, if I could convince my wife to do this, to sacrifice and do this, I would so wipe everything out and do it. Because the end goal, it doesn't matter how long it takes you, it's going to be worth it. And we won't have to be working until we're 75 or 80.
That's my plan. I'd love to retire in about 5 years. Ooh, man, that got hot.
And this is a beautiful piece of property. And it was a blessing. So if you can do it like that, guys, if you can buy the piece of property for a reasonable price, the reason we got a reasonable price is because nothing was done to it. There was no water, there was no power, it was raw land, and we had to do this ourselves. So even if you have to do it yourself, know that you can do it. We didn't start doing this till our 40s, so don't even think that you're too old to do it. You can do it. Believe me, but it's hard work. It's very hard work, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Because the peace of mind you'll have when you lay in your own bed at night on your own property and know that no one can take it from you and you own it and you don't owe anything on it. That's peace of mind that you can't buy.
There's definitely a peace of mind to that too, I give that.
He give us direction, Gracie. Maybe he's been trying to, maybe we just didn't hear him.
Okay, you got that.
But he knows we've been struggling with this for 2 years.
Oh, right. Well, I've got to stand
She's
up.
the most specialist breast dog in the world.
You can sit in that chair.
And when if she had other doggy friends, she'd be the one that's most well-traveled and the sweetest temperament. Well, when she goes to doggy heaven, guys, and you're all like, what did you do in your lifetime today? Let's sit down and have a talk. This is going to take a while. Because I could tell you stories.
It'd be easier to name the places she hadn't been.
Right. And then she's like, I could tell you funny stories, or I could tell you ghost stories. Right? I could tell you scary ones and funny ones. Yeah. Like when Daddy slammed on the brakes and I went roly-poly in the floor. That was scary. That was scary for me, not for him.
Yeah, I was saying, I wasn't scared.
Nope, you're gonna see me just sitting out here like talking, just to be out here and
It's a pretty day today though. It's nice.
it's mentally different to get out of the house, and even if you're not doing a lot of physical stuff, you can just get out and get some fresh air.
Yeah, this false fall is wonderful.
Fall's my favorite time of year. See, God gave me a week of fall weather because I'm my favorite. And I've been telling you that.
Yeah.
every time, guys, there is a thing I love that he hates. I love a cul-de-sac, a roundabout, right? Like Britain has, like you see them put all over it. I know a lot of drivers and people have been disagreeing with me. But I'm a Britain fan and like an English countryside fan and all those things. They have these roundabouts. And I always love roundabouts.
A four-way is more organized than a roundabout.
Anyway, so every time that we're driving, we get a roundabout in the middle of nowhere, I was like, oh, see, thank you guys. And Jay will be going, oh my God, another roundabout. And I'm over there happy as clams because I love roundabouts. We were going out in the desert, guys. We were going to Jerome. And in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, there is no cities around. There's nothing around. There's just one highway. They stuck a roundabout out there. And I was so excited because I've been seeing miles of nothing. And then we get to the roundabout, and I'm so excited. I'm like, thank you, God. I knew that I'm your favorite. You put this out here and really does it just for me, right? And then Jay just looked at me like, oh, yeah, why would this be here? And it's just, I love roundabouts. That's why I say things, you know.
It's like on year 20 of walking through the desert, Moses people have to go through a roundabout. It was nowhere, no purpose.
No, it was put there because I love them. And every time we come up to it, it just makes me smile. Love roundabouts. I want one in the middle of our driveway. I think that's what I'll do, guys. I'll put me a roundabout in my garden. That'll work, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
I can put a roundabout in my garden and plant off the sides of it and in the center of it. It'd be pretty. And I'll have my own roundabout, right?
And she said it correctly, too.
What?
She can put.
Well, I can lay stones and make a roundabout.
Yes, you can.
Okay. You don't have to come in my garden.
Because if I make it, I'm just going to do a four-way.
Roundabouts are fun. It's like being on a merry-go-round. And they're pretty. Stop it, Gracie. Come on. Hey, we've been doing good all day. We don't need to start now. Okay? Yeah, we don't need to do that now.
Can't believe I did that.
Gotta be a good girls. You've been doing good.
Okay.
What are you working on?
Okay, well, let me see. I've got in order to do this other wall, I may have to move some of this. I'm going to look and see what all I need to move around.
What? Ow. What the fell? What?
I'm going to have to move some things around here.
Tell me what you need to move. I'll help you.
All right.
All I've been doing is running my mouth. Here comes the other helper.
I know. You coming up here too, Grace? You want to come up here? Well, okay, I will come and get you. Here, come on, big girl. Did you want to come up here too? Okay. There you go.
Now watch for the holes. Okay, where do you want me to move this wood? I know you got to make a wall here.
That's what I'm saying. I got to figure this out first.
Okay.
Did you want back down? You went back down. Okay, you didn't even want up here in the first place, did you?
Let me have you move that.
I'm not gonna move this. I'm just thinking,
Make a space.
You know, that is another pain in the butt thing whenever you get all these materials and you have to try and keep it in places where you can keep it dry. You gotta keep it all together. You end up moving it 3 or 4 times before you actually use it.
Look. Hey.
You're not going inside. You get your butt over here.
Nope. You ain't got that much leash. No, ma'am.
You haven't earned it yet.
Gracie. No. Come here. Don't look at the house. No. No. I know she didn't. All right. Attitudes. All I do is raise attitudes. Don't you do it. Stop.
I hate you guys.
She made it all the way to the house.
I hate you all.
She looked right at me. Then turned around and continued on. She's done that to Jay. At that point, guys, you just got to go get her. Because she's going in the house. She don't care if she's in trouble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. She puts it to her mind. We'll go in a little bit. You guys get ready to go in, sit down and cool off some. We will.
I'm not hot.
I'm not really that hot either.
We'll go in for lunch.
Oh, that works for me.
We'll prepare our work site for our next project. We'll go and have lunch. How about that?
Okay.
Let's get it ready. Set up.
So there is absolutely nothing that goes right here.
Huh?
Just trying to come up with places to put stuff where I know I'm
Yeah.
not going to be doing any work in the...
You can always use that over there.
This.
Yeah.
Oh, I got... Part of the thing is we're moving stuff because after that wall goes up, we're done. We have no more of this wood.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what inside wall we might be able to put up, if any. Because this only goes 16 feet over.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this has to get torn down. I'm going to try and figure out where the toilet goes over there so we can just, clean this toilet up and we'll move it over.
Okay.
So we can,
Hook it right back up.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
We're not animals.
So do you want me to go ahead and move this wood?
No, that wood there's gonna get used up front. So
Okay, what are we putting on this?
2x4s.
Okay, these?
Yeah, if you want to, pop the screws out of those.
All right.
And then before we move them. And I'll start moving these boards.
right. Is the other staying in the house? Here. I'll go get it.
Right where my phone was.
All right.
I mean, right where I took my shoes off.
I told you guys that I get this built. I'm gonna sit in my living room. In the house video is back to back one day.
I told her when that day comes, I'm going to look her square in the face and say, who are you? Where am I?
Storm out there. And then you're suggesting yeah,
It's like literally slipping out of the house with a sleeping baby.
Do what?
It's like you have to creep in
Oh, yes.
and creep out so you don't wake the baby.
Yeah, if I ever have to go in the mornings, that's what I feel like.
Well, I was just doing that. I walked in like this, like a robber coming in my own house. Sneaking in, trying not to wake the baby. And I just looked at Karen like, I'll kill you. You better-
Remember my younger days grabbing 3 of these at one time.
I never did that. I left Gracie inside sleeping and I'm sneaking in and out trying to get supplies like a burglar. So I don't wake her up. She's been doing good the last couple of days about scratching and stuff. I'm gonna try to see if I can, because she's asleep now. I'm gonna see if I can leave her. Yeah, make it come out. And I'm just going back and forth and checking on her, make sure she's not over scratching herself. Speaking of that, I need to do that right quick. Because if Karen wants out, and
She'll go
nobody
wake
wants
Gracie
out,
up.
she'll go wake Gracie.
No, you see, Karen, Gracie, and Jennifer all have a different attitude. And you got to kind of work it so that you don't set all 3 of them off at the same time. So usually we just let Karen or Gracie get pissed. That's what I learned. That's your husband tip for the day.
She's still sleeping. Karen's just grooming herself. I left the door open so she could get out.
Oh, good.
Gracie won't even know we were gone. Because there's, I have a fan going in there, an air conditioner going in there, TV going in there, and a dryer.
Oh, this is probably the best Gracie's felt in a while, I'm sure.
I'm sure she's sleeping. That's a whole, you know, earlier when she wanted to go in, guys, that's all she wanted to do. Get some water and go to sleep. I left the door cracked though, so Karen could get out. Karen will bug Gracie if she's not getting her way. I guess because she knows we'll end up addressing it, the situation. She's got attitude.
Yeah, she does.
But I raised little girls with attitudes. We're good at it. Yeah, I think that's windy in front of the fans. She thinks it's a luxury spa out there.
I come out in the morning, she's still, one of them's laying right in front of it.
I think it's windy.
It's still dark.
Yeah. She likes to be pampered.
Well, those nights that it was like 80 something at night,
Yeah.
all the ducks were laying in front of that fan all
Yeah.
night long.
Right. I'm sure that was nice.
Well, when we redo the coops, we're gonna put little fans like that pull air through the whole time.
Yeah, like attic fans.
Yeah, kind of like an attic fan, so you can keep them cool. I didn't, but at least they're never in the sun. That's what I like about where we put them, to have a little bit of sunshine during the day. Hold on, I hate you.
I've had some workplace accidents like you wouldn't believe. I remember working with my uncle a few times and getting hurt, but one of the most memorable times was working on some siding on a house, an old building that had old tin. And he was putting in some braces on the inside of this old tin wall because they were trying to preserve the building. And then we were going to put the braces up, put the walls up to take the tin down. So the building was still supported while we took the siding down. And I was on the outside of the tin. And I was holding it like this. And you see, I never worked with gloves. But he was on the inside of the tin and he had a hammer. And he missed the block of wood or the joist. He hit the tin and the hammer come through the tin and the tin ripped. And when the tin ripped, it ripped my finger down to the bone. And I ended up going to get stitches. Then one time, I was working in Jacksonville with my dad. We was doing a roof putting some tin roofing on the house. And he was up on top of the roof. And I was on the ground. And what he would do, he'd come down to the edge. And I'd have a piece of tin like this. And when he would say he was there, I would toss it up onto the roof. He would get the piece of tin and pull it on up the rest of the way and put it down. So I was standing there with my piece of tin like this, just waiting. And I heard something hit the roof. Then I heard something hit the tin, and then that's all I remember. I felt something hit my head. It knocked me out for like a split second. He had dropped his tape measure, and it had come down the slant of that roof, and down that tin. By then it was booking. It hit me square in the head and like conked me for a second. And he said all he saw was the tin going like this, and like this slowly falling over and then falling over.
Oh gosh, how old were his Art when he passed?
7. He's in his 70s.
70s, okay. So he was in his late 70s. So he was in his early 70s, and I was helping him work on a roof at this place. And what we were to do was to change the angle of the roof to lower it some. And we removed a lot of the bracing. Then we went up top and preparing for the roof to fall on its own. That's how we cut the wood, so it would just fall into place, and then we would just reattach it. It didn't fall into place, and this 70-year-old man's up there jumping up and down on a roof till it did give. Oh, it was horrible. I almost rolled off. I wasn't planning for it. I'm like, what are you doing?
He had unconventional ways of getting something done, but he got it done though. The job looked good when he was done. Just saying.
Yeah, I give him that. That roof, I mean, that looked really good when we finished it.
Yes.
I just wasn't expecting to fall and roll.
It's the unconventional way you wouldn't expect it. But our family doesn't do anything the conventional way.
Right, I would have probably went down, took a couple straps, hooked it up to it, pulled it evenly together. He's walked over to the center of the roof without even telling me and jumped.
Yeah, a lot of times he wouldn't include you in on his plan on how he was doing something. He was really, I loved working with him and being around him.
I did too.
Even though it was pretty dangerous if you worked with him. But Like everybody that I know got injured working with them at one time or another.
Somebody
Everybody I
left
know.
blood on every job. It was almost like you had to do it. It's like
Right.
some kind of a job sacrifice.
And most of the time it was just little mistakes. It might be a couple of stitches here and there. Nothing like, nobody ever got killed on his job or anything. But a lot of us did get hurt. But you know, in construction that happens too. And the thing about him is he would always take you to the hospital. He would always pay the medical bills. And if you had any doctor's bills after that. So he done right by you. If you got hurt, he done right by you.
Yeah, he would.
Is eat, sleep, pray, work.
Now, the big thing with the studio is just going to be having enough plugs and probably 2 20-amp breakers in it.
Mm-hmm. Because of the equipment and stuff we're running?
Yeah, the equipment, and then to be able to charge everything. I'm going to put a wall-built charging station.
Yeah.
For all of our cameras and equipment.
Oh, we got a lot of equipment, guys, and cameras and stuff. And I've got it in like 3 suitcases right now. That's how I carry all the equipment. 53 long